Good morning, frogs, and welcome to your next live daily update. So a little bit of a change today. We're not just going to focus purely on maths in this little video. We're also going to look at some other areas of the curriculum as well. Year 4s, you're going to need to stay tuned in a little bit longer because your maths explanation comes into this. So first of all, just want to say a really big well done. All the fantastic work you did yesterday that I got to see was brilliant, so keep that up. Second thing, I did notice on the computing challenge, some of you found some little tricky elements, especially with that challenge 3. So my top tip is this: if you're on the coding of Purple Mash, there's a little blue question mark in the top right hand corner, okay? It doesn't look like the help, but this is where you can go to for your help videos, and even I had to look at those for challenge 3, and then I could work out how to make it say the name of the monkey. But that's just a little thing that I found that I thought might help you all out. Other than that, any problems, just keep asking me what you want to know. Two major things that happened yesterday then. First of all, both BBC and the government launched their sort of live daily lessons. So I will be signposting you to a couple of those within our own school website for our history activity, which seems really nice, looking at what becomes a history investigator. And also year 3s, your maths happens to just match perfectly with what they've put on there as well, so that should be good for you. But year 4s, the match wasn't quite as good, hence you're going to get a bit more video. But hope you're all keeping safe, and we'll start the year 4 maths in just a second. First of all though, I have got the answers from previous days maths. You might be able to see them there. They're a little bit scruffy because I had to handwrite them, but if you do want these, have a check out on our school website. I'll PDF them on there so you can see how you got on and self-mark just like we would in class. So as I said, for the maths today, year 3s, your focus is on ordering numbers again, and there'll be some live links below the screen for you to click onto, whereas for year 4s, this is your time to watch now. So your focus, year 4s, today is all about rounding numbers. Rounding to the nearest 10, rounding to the nearest 100, rounding to the nearest 1,000 even. So, if I get my little pen, we'll start with a fairly simple one, okay? If we took a random numbered age, I don't know, say Mr. Teacher was 38 years old. And Mr. Teacher and his friends are having a discussion, and they want to work out whether Mr. Teacher to the nearest 10 is nearer to 40, which is the next 10 on, or is he closer to 30? Mr. Teacher would like to be close to 30, but I'm sad to say I don't think he's going to be right. So what we have to do is look at this digit here. Remember from yesterday, this is called the ones digit. Then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the tens number. The previous 10 is the same, so we've got 3 tens here. The 10 that comes after 30 would of course be 40. Okay, so we've looked at that number and 8 there. What we then have to do is think about our value of numbers. We can even write ourselves a little number line out with all of the numbers there. So we have to look at 8 ones. Is 8 ones closer to the next 10, a 10, or is 8 ones closer to 0? Hopefully, as we can see, it's significantly closer to 10. We always talk about being beyond 5 in class. So therefore, 38 would be rounded up to 40 as its nearest 10. If we took that a little step further though, and we talked about how old most children in class thought Mr. Rushton really was, we may say a number like, I don't know, 157 years old. Cheeky. This time we're not going to round to the nearest 10, we're going to round to the nearest 100. So what 100 comes before this? It's 100. And the 100 that would come after 157 would be 200. Mr. Rushton is not nearly 200 years old, let's just make that clear now. So with this time, we have to look at the number 57, okay? And in particular, the 5 tens. If we count it up, we go 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90. And you can tell I didn't rehearse this that well because the 100 dropped off the side. But if we were looking at it again, where does 50 lie? Well, 50 is the halfway marker. It's always the trickiest number. That's why I chose that one in particular. We always say if a number is above 50 or 50 and above, we round up. Anything below 50, so even if the number was 49, we would round down. As our number is 57, we're going to round up again to 200. Mr. Rushton would be 200 years old. Oh dear. Now, if we look at this again with our thousands, we might look at one of Mr. Rushton's bike rides. So we might say that this week Mr. Rushton was out on his bike and he did a grand total of 2,567 meters on his bike. So that did mean he stayed quite close to his house. But would 2,567 meters, if we were rounding to the nearest thousand, would we round it down to 2,000 meters? Or would we round it up to 3,000 meters? At home, have a little think. Have a little chat with your parents. Discuss what you think. I'll give you a moment. You could press pause on the video at this point as well if you wanted. Okay, back with it then. How are we going to work this one out? So, 2,567. Well, again, it's the next digit we're looking at. So in this instance, it's those hundreds again. Simply, we write out our hundreds. And again, 1,000 drops down there. So, where does this number lie? Well, 567 lies about here, just after 500. So therefore, once again, anything below 499, we're rounding down to the nearest thousand. But as it's 567, we're going to round it right up to 3,000 meters. Makes me look a lot better on my bike charts. I'm going to give you one final one to look at. Little problem to solve. So, I'll give you some real data this time, okay? Mr. Rushton went on a bike ride the other day. He circled all around where he lives and he travelled a total distance. The total distance that Mr. Rushton travelled was in fact 33 kilometres. He travelled 33 kilometres. Now, I'm not going to ask you to turn that into meters, but if you want to, you can email me the answer later. That'll be a special challenge for you. You can pop that over to me on Too Simple email. But for now, 33 kilometres. What would that be rounded to the nearest 10? And what would it be if we rounded it to the nearest 100? That's the question I'm going to leave you with, Year 4s, for now. I hope you've enjoyed your next live video, and I'll bring you something again tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching.